And it's good Thursday afternoon. It is April 1st, and this is not an April Fool's joke. There is millions being raised for local nonprofits all across the state today. One of my favorite days, and this is just the second year of 401 Gives. And joining me to chat about it is Cortney Nicolato, who is the president and CEO of United Way of Rhode Island. And Cortney, we always catch up on April 1st. We got to plan something in the meantime next year.
I'm in whenever you want to get together. I'm ready to go. But man, oh man, is it fun though when we do get together on April 1st? I feel like we get to talk about all the cool, good stuff happening in the community.
It is. And for those, how I've been phrasing it, and I've probably picked up your language somewhere, is it's Rhode Island's day of statewide giving. And we are supporting all of our favorite local nonprofits today.
We are. And, one of the things that when we created this program, we wanted it to be a grassroots movement, not only to raise critical funds for the Rhode Island community, but to celebrate the nonprofit community. And, the nonprofit community is doing incredible things all around our state, and they are embedded into each and every one of our lives. And so we need to talk that up, and we need to celebrate and thank them, both financially and through volunteerism and all that. And 401 Gives Day is that movement that we all dreamed it would be. So it's really exciting.
Now, last year, April 1st came just as we were kind of getting our feet under us. It was the start of the pandemic. We said, nonprofits have never had it tougher. They need your support right now. And then we just went 365 days, which was the hardest time for nonprofits. They most likely are providing more services than ever with less income. Talk to us about, what the last year has been for nonprofits.
If you think about it, it was our nonprofit community that stepped up in miraculous ways nearly immediately. As an example, many of us were activated on February 29th before the very first COVID case was announced, and have sprung into action ever since. Our 2-on-1 team, as an example of so many. We've had organizations like Meals on Wheels that, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think it's triple the number of folks that they provide meals to daily. In comparison to pre-COVID. We've had organizations who have innovated, pivoted, all while their fundraising events were getting canceled, and their means of sustainability was being taken away. And so I remember we had planned 18 months before last year's 401 Gives. I had a number of people that called and said, "Are you sure that you're going to do 401 Gives?" And my response was always back is, there is no better time to do 401 Gives. Our Rhode Island nonprofit community have done nothing but step up over the last and innovated. I think one of the other things that I've loved to see is our arts organizations who have pivoted to virtual, our education and after school programs that have made sure that their students had what they needed through the pandemic. So many examples of that that I feel like has just been something to celebrate. So we are more than thrilled to be able to do that on this special day.
Yes, and we had Heather Strout from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center in Newport on Tuesday, and she, just one example. They've never, Rhode Islanders, Newport County residents have never relied on them more. They've never had to provide more services. So a day like today is so important. Before we talk about how today's going so far, why don't you just let us know what happened last year on April 1st?
Yeah, so last year our goal was to raise $1 million in the 24-hour period. We came out of that day raising 1.32, I believe, million for 366 organizations and through 7,500 donors. And so the generosity exceeded our expectations, which is no surprise because Rhode Island is generous, especially when the going gets tough. But it was absolutely a great inaugural year.
And today I have been, I've had on one of my extra screens here in the office, I've had the website up the entire morning, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like Super Bowl Sunday here, but to hear the smack talk between nonprofits, competitive, I've talked to many nonprofits. I serve on a couple nonprofit boards. Everybody's talking about this. And how is today going so far?
Yeah, so I actually have to have my phone nearby because it keeps changing so quickly. So we are at noon, so we've been open for 6 hours, and we're at 6,600 nonprofit donors donating to 407 of our organizations, and we are already just literally $10,000 away from what we raised the entire year last year. So I think our goal, in my opinion, we need all of you to keep donating, especially if you haven't yet. But I think our goal of 1.5 is going to be tossed out the window. And I am hopeful that we might even look at a $2 million mark. And then if you look at each individual organization and what they're doing, MLK is doing fantastic. They're over $70,000. One of the top in the top 3. They keep teetering back and forth with Foster Forward. I think also what's really exciting is we just started doing a lot of the prizes that we have available to our nonprofit organization. So lots more to come for sure.
And, here is the leaderboard, and we're proud of all of these nonprofits who are having just banner days. And, we're proud of everybody who has given whatever they can today. But, we can see Foster Forward. They just sprinted up from like the 4th or 5th spot to the top. The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center. And look at the number of donors for some of these nonprofits. And you can go on, there has been donations made to more than 300, 400 nonprofits now.
407.
Yeah. And you can find all of your favorite nonprofits here. You could spread out your donations among nonprofits. Maybe learn about a nonprofit you never knew about. We always say your favorite or local, but search by your town or by your county and find nonprofits in your area. You might learn something new about a nonprofit.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, Ryan. And one of the things that we saw last year in giving, as many nonprofits said, I gained a whole great group of new donors that now they've built relationships with over the past year. And so we've had lots of new donors or new to those organization donors because of the way that you can search on the 401 Gives website. So you can search by city or town. You can search by, I want to learn about all the animal rescue organizations. You can search by name. You can search ABC and go through all 407 if you want. Each organization has their own page that they've designed. And so it has things like videos and various different tools and resources so that you can learn what your dollar would support for their particular organization. And then many organizations, while we at United Way have partnered with great organizations like Rhode Island Foundation and others to do matching giving throughout the day, many of the individual organizations have created matching gifts through their relationships with their donors. And so there are some circumstances where your dollars could go 3 to 1 by giving on 401 Gives, or 2 to 1. So every dollar matters. You can give $25 to whatever organization that is most important to you. I'll give you an example. My kids and I and my hubby, we love to hike. That is a big thing that we love to do here in Rhode Island. And so my son, I said, you have $25, pick the organization that is meaningful to you. And he picked the Audubon Society because of the great work that they do maintaining our trails throughout the state of Rhode Island. And so, think about those organizations that touch your life, or look at organizations that may be meaningful to you. As an example, our arts organizations, there's some great groups that provide children's theater programs and various other things. This is a great opportunity for you to learn the breadth and depth of the nonprofit community here in Rhode Island.
And, what I like about 401 Gives is a lot of times when we give the nonprofits during the holiday season, whenever it may be, what is this $25 really going to do? And, a lot of nonprofits, including our friends here, you can see exactly what $25 will do. And most nonprofits on the website have something like this set up where if you give 50, 100, you can see your money in action, which is you can see what the difference you're actually going to make today is. It's really neat. Now, people have until I've been saying end of day, but what have you been saying? What people have to give till?
Sure. So you technically have until 6 a.m. tomorrow. I will tell you, we leave it open just for a little while longer because we have a number of people that go, oh, I hope I didn't forget. So we do let it open a little longer. So, but really tomorrow will be when we'll be wrapping it up. So take a look. I would encourage you, tonight is kind of the big push. So if you have time today during the day, if not after you may come home from work, I would tell you, the other thing I wanted to share is I've heard from a lot of our donors throughout the community that are utilizing their stimulus checks to support the community. They want to stimulate the nonprofit community through that, and it may be that they can afford to do so. And so I've heard from a lot of donors who have utilized the recent stimulus check to support Rhode Island and our nonprofit community members, which is really cool.
And I got to congratulate you because based on the numbers you just gave, you just passed last year's total raised.
We did, and I actually just heard my team screaming through their masks in the other room. So I had a feeling we were there.
Yes, and you are there. You've already passed the number of organizations, the number of raised, so it's great. I know I'm on a nonprofit board, and I just emailed out our entire board and said, hey, today's a great day to give. Let's get every board member to give. So if you happen to be on a nonprofit board, remember why you volunteer your time, or if you're a volunteer with an organization. And it's a great day to, email out to all your contacts, remind them to support, your favorite organization or why you support an organization. Right. It's a good day, and it's positive news. It's something a little bit different than COVID. And we could say, hey, I support the Audubon Society because of this, and remind people, of opportunities to give.
Yeah, and I think, to that point, I think that's an awesome idea. And one of the things is folks need to know why it's important to you, because it may actually be important to them and they may not realize it. I think the other thing that's important is, as we think about our nonprofit community and honor, we have to honor with our time, our talent, and our treasure. And so that means volunteering. And you can learn more by going to unitedwayri.org to learn about volunteer opportunities. I think that there is your skills are needed with our nonprofit community, whether you're in marketing, communication, finance, whatever it might be, they need you. And so being the nonprofit work for the community, they serve the community, and that requires each and every one of us to step up. And so even if it is $20 that you can do, that matters today. And that matters to our nonprofit community who are literally stepping up every step of the way.
Yes, it's the old many hands make light work. And if everybody gave $20 to support their favorite local nonprofit, it helps, everybody that they serve in whatever capacity they serve. So we're just 700,000 away from 2 million. So we can do this by the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, we can do it, especially with Rhode Islanders and their unbelievably generous hearts and commitment to our community. I think what I love about this day is there's a lot of tough stuff going on right now. And there's a lot of heavy stuff going on in the world. And, taking a day to recognize the good, I think it fills everyone's hearts. And we all need that. And so I'm glad that is a derivative of the day for sure.
Excellent. Cortney, did we miss anything today? 401gives.org is the most important thing. The website is as easy as can be to search for your favorite local nonprofit or a cause or a town. You can see the leaderboards, which is fun, and you can see how everybody's performing.
Yeah, and if you go to 401gives.org, if you want to give once and then give again, you can do that as well. We make it really easy in that you can go onto the site, you can hit donate, you can choose the amount that you want to donate. Also, all of those gifts go into a gift basket on the site. So when you donate to multiple organizations, you're paying once, which is great. Our technology provider provides all of those dollars quickly back into these nonprofits' hands. Also, there is a small fee for credit card processing, and it asks if you want to cover that. And I will tell you, about 90% of donors cover that cost. That is not our cost at United Way. That's a cost of the credit card processing fee. So you'll see that pop up as well. But it is easy. And then the last thing I'll just mention is share. If you've given today, share on social media why you gave and who you gave to, and use the hashtag 401gives, because it's about really recognizing the work and being public in your support of the community.
Excellent. Well, it is a great day, and I loved that I could pick all of my nonprofits that I wanted to get to this morning and do it in one transaction. It's just easy peasy, and you got a receipt right away, and it was good to go. So, Cortney, great job on today to you and your team. I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are working on this, and we thank United Way for everything they're doing today.
Well, thank you. And just the last thing I'll just mention is there's so many great sponsors for the day. And if you go onto the 401 Give site, you can learn more. FM Global and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island, Centerville Bank and Way, and just so many great folks who have see this as a day of celebration and recognize that as well. So thank you, Ryan, for the opportunity to share the cool stuff happening here.
Of course. And if people go to the menu on 401gives.org, they can connect. They can click on donation matches and challenges, and they'll see all of the. We quickly pull it up here, and you can see, Caldwell Realty and what they're doing, and how close they are to doing a $5,000 match, and all the Rhode Island companies, all the local companies, and groups and people who are taking this above and beyond. So when you do give 25, sometimes that might be 50 or 75 or 100. So. Common Cause of Rhode Island, and so many groups on here. So there's a lot of people involved in today.
A lot of people, a lot of love for Rhode Island.
All right.
The most generous day of the year, I like to call it.
That's it. And it's a great way to start off April in spring. And 401gives.org to support your favorite nonprofit. And if you can't do it today, maybe you can reach out to one of the nonprofits and ask about volunteering or give in the future. So, Cortney, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for your support.
Of course. And 401gives.org, and they are at $1.326 million raised. 408 organizations have received donations today, and there have been 6,791 donors thus far. 401gives.org is where to go, and we hope you give before 6 a.m. tomorrow. Encourage all your friends, family, enemies, and everybody else to give.